Caution! This is an M-rated game, so the Magical Chicken insists that viewer discretion is advised. It's time for the Resident Evil Archives Resident Evil Review for the Wii. Now, for any of you who aren't familiar with Resident Evil, this game is a port of the remake Resident Evil for the GameCube. Apparently, this version, compared with the original PS1 version, has, and I quote from Wikipedia, a variety of new gameplay elements, environments, and story details, as well as state-of-the-art visuals. Now, I haven't played the PS1 version or any other platform version of this game, so I will not be comparing this version with the original. So, let's get started. At the selection screen, you'll have to choose which character to play as, Chris Redfield or Jill Valentine. Each character has a different storyline, but not so much that it'll feel like you're playing two separate games. The story is about how Raccoon City's Special Tactics and Rescue Service, or STARS, Team Bravo is sent to a remote region outside the city to investigate a series of grisly murders. However, contact is lost during their mission, so Team Alpha is sent in to find them. While searching through the dark woods, the team is attacked and chased by mangy-looking dogs. The team escapes to a nearby mansion. Now this is where the storyline changes up depending on who you chose to play as. If you chose to play as Chris, he goes alone, mind you, searching the mansion, while Jill and Captain Wesker stay in the front lobby. That's so stupid! I know it's just a game, but it seems so illogical to me that you would split up in a mansion that you've never been in, where you could get lost, you don't know what has happened to Bravo team, and for all you know they're dead, and plus, the place is spooky. Anyway, if you play as Jill, you enter the mansion with Wesker and a different guy, Barry Burton. Jill does the same thing, goes and investigates the mansion, but at least Barry goes with her, but only for about the first few minutes. They agreed to split up. Okay, fine, they're basically a SWAT team and can handle their own. Oh, well, maybe not. This guy sure couldn't. Alright, enough of that. This is a survival horror game. You'll go through the mansion, fighting off zombies, and just trying to figure out what to do next. A lot of the doors are locked at first, so exploring the mansion is very limited in the beginning. You'll eventually find keys by solving puzzles which aren't exactly too difficult. The difficult part is finding the puzzles, staying alive, and conserving ammo. Unlike Resident Evil 4, ammo is not plentiful, and finding it can be a pain. As you probably have already noticed, the camera angles in every room and place in the game are fixed. You have no control over the camera. The camera angles are the real trick in what makes this game scary. Yes, the creepy atmosphere and music help, but the camera angles are what give this game its frightening appeal. Some angles are slanted, some make it so you can't see what's in front of you, and I can't really remember any time the angle is at eye level. This game definitely wouldn't be as chilling if you could control the camera. Now that being said, it does cause a problem, and that's depth perception. It doesn't happen all the time, but certain angles are set so that you can't really tell where you are in relation to another object, such as a door or an item you can pick up. This gets frustrating. I like the creepy fixed camera angles, but I wish the developers would have picked other angles in certain areas to heighten the depth perception. The zombies are slow, but it's balanced out by the lack of ammo you have. Plus, pumping them full of lead isn't enough. The only way to truly get rid of them is with a headshot, which is rare to do, so don't count on it, or burn them. To burn them, you need to find certain objects. Once you shoot the zombies enough to where they collapse, you can set them on fire. If you've never played this game before, you don't know how satisfying and relieving it is to burn them up. Because if you don't, or don't get a headshot and just leave them lying there, later on, they will get back up and run at you. So make sure you always burn them up if you can. Now, I've read that Jill's playthrough is easier than Chris's, which I believe. It doesn't make sense to me, though, as to why Chris is the first option to play as at the selection screen just before you play. Shouldn't it be Jill first? I can't really think of any other game that gives you the more difficult option first, then the easier one. Jill's is easier because she receives a lockpick, which is used for certain doors, while Chris needs to go around finding old keys for the same doors. She also gets help from Barry from time to time in the form of cutscenes. And also, and this is a big one, she has 2 more slots in her inventory. Oh man, the inventory system. I did not like this. With Chris, you're only able to hold 6 items at once, and with Jill, 8. Okay, so it's a small inventory. I can deal with that, right? Wrong. This is one of the most frustrating things about the game, if not the most frustrating. And here's why. If all of your slots are filled up, you cannot hold any more items, unless it's ammo, and then it'll just stack. But if you want to drop an item, that's impossible. This doesn't make any sense, and can be so aggravating. Why can't I drop items? Here's the deal. You have to find certain rooms that have a chest in them. These will allow you to drop items in here in exchange for new ones. The only thing is, there's like 5 or 6 chests scattered throughout the whole game, which makes it a pain when you have to keep going back and forth dropping off and picking up items, especially when you're playing for the first time and aren't really sure where you'll need a certain item. The save system is unique. To save, you have to find a typewriter to save your progress, but you'll also need ink ribbon to use the typewriter. Ink ribbon is an item you'll find multiple times throughout the game, and you can use one ink ribbon 3 times to save. Once you've used it 3 times, you can't save anymore, and you'll have to find more ink ribbon. This gives the game quite a bit of strategy, as you'll have to use your best judgment on when to save your game. And make sure you save too. If you die, even in a boss fight, you'll be brought back to your last save and have to do everything between your last save and where you died. This gets frustrating, so make sure you know how to juggle your saves wisely. The graphics look great, lots of detail and realistic looking sceneries. I did notice that the facial animations of each character look dated, but I'm guessing that's from the PS1, so it's not a huge deal. The controls are not the best, in my opinion. You can play with the Wiimote Nunchuck combo, the classic controller, or the GameCube controller. I tried the Wiimote Nunchuck combo at first, and it was okay, but I stuck with the GameCube the vast majority of the game. You have 3 control options to choose from. Number 1 is to move with the analog stick, hold R to aim, and A to shoot. Sounds simple, right? Well, it is, except for the fact that when your character is in a room that has the camera fixed so that you're looking at the front of your character, you still have to push forward on the analog stick to make your character move forward. This makes it very awkward, at least for me, because when I see this, I want to press down on the analog stick, not up. The second control scheme is to press and hold A once to walk, double tap and hold to run, hold L to aim, and Y to shoot. The third one is to hold down R slightly to walk, all the way down to run, aim with L, and A to shoot. All 3 of these control schemes are awkward in their own way for me, but I chose the second control scheme as I found it worked the best for me. Still, holding down A to walk and or run, it's like a control scheme for a racer. I switched to this control scheme later on in the game, and if you do the same, make sure you remember which button does what, as you might forget in a panic and die because you're spamming the wrong button, which is what happened to me. I did like that your character would aim at an enemy when they were within their sight. This really helped determine where enemies were, if you, as the player, couldn't see them due to the fixed camera angles. The voice acting was good, and the story was enticing. It helped me want to finish the game even more. The boss fights were actually really easy. Not to say you probably won't get damaged a few times by them, but they were easier than I expected. A couple of boss fights have alternate ways of defeating them without firing a single bullet. It's creative, yes, but for the other boss fights, I was a bit disappointed from the lack of difficulty. There are extra goodies when you beat the game, especially if you beat it within a certain time limit, which is incentive for replay value as well as the other character's storyline, but after I beat it, I didn't really have an urge to play through it again, at least not anytime soon as I did with Resident Evil 4. Resident Evil Archives Resident Evil is a great game. Chilling graphics and atmosphere, enticing story, creepy fixed camera angles really put the fear into this game, a unique and strategic save system, great overall gameplay, alternative boss fight routes were pretty cool, and some good extras for replayability. However, I did not like the inventory system, strategic as it might be. All 3 control schemes weren't the best, some of the camera angles made the depth perception low, and the boss fights were surprisingly easy. Overall, though, this is a great and scary game. I can see why the Resident Evil franchise is so popular. If you want to have a good scary time, then this is the game you'll want to play. This game gets a 4.25 out of 5 with the title of Awesome. Oh, what a long day.
You're telling me.
So hungry. Gotta get something to eat.
I think I'm just gonna chill on the couch and play the Wii. Babe, I'm so tired. Can you give me the Wiimote?
Well, you know, I'd like to, but, you know, I got my phone in that pocket, a knife, my wallet, and, see, no, I got my pocket watch, and I'm pulling the carrot, so, sorry, I can't do it.
What are you talking about? It's just right there. Just give me the Wiimote.
But my pockets are full. I can't do it.
Just use your other hand.
I don't know what you're saying. Sorry, can't do it.
Babe, just hand me the Wiimote.
Sorry, babe.